One is a mobile game spender. The other is a proud, free-to-play enthusiast. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. But with both having years of service under their belts, the one thing we are sure of is you will be entertained. This is the Escape Podcast. A weekly look into some of the best mobile games out there. This is the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes edition. Live from the Old Man's Private Reserve located within Vault 37, here are your hosts, Brian Kane and Daniel Logan.
This week on the Escape Podcast, Kane, you work in sales, right?
You know I do.
Would you say it's a smart business model to release products that eventually are going to need a recall, like a new car? Yeah, it's been tested by multiple consumers. They've already bought the car. They're testing it. They discover a flaw in the brakes. Or you're pulling your shiny new TIE Defender out of the hangar and realizing it destroys the executor. You know, your average, everyday, real-world issues.
Hell no. And I kind of got a feeling I know where you're going with this. And there was a problem with the Jawa bundle.
Wait, the Jawa bundle? The Jawa bundle?
Oh yeah. Players were paying for it, and instead of getting 100 items, players were only getting 50. But players will be getting the salvage in a future update.
Great. I knew the Riva mission was too good to be true. Only took them how long to notice this?
That sounds about right. For the time I was in the industry, this is not a good trend for business. Plus, we have Conquest to go over and the start of 5v5, and you know how I feel about 5v5.
Yeah, Conquest, yay. I'm still not there yet. I've made some progress, but I can get on board with some 5v5, and we should probably go over what we've been working on lately because I dropped my crystal hoard.
Sounds like a plan, old man.
All this and breaking news as and if it happens right here on the Escape Podcast, the Old Man's Private Reserve. That's
Brian, we have no audio.
Yeah, we had an audio issue. It's fixed now.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, so they couldn't hear us? So
no.
now they can?
No. Yeah, sound is on now, and couldn't read lips, but yeah, we were talking about the wind chill, where we're at right now. Old man started us off with his upstate New York wind chill.
Yeah, negative 27 right now, man.
Oof.
Yeah, I went out earlier to go to the store to pick up a few things for dinner, and I wish I just ordered a pizza and made some other poor schlep go out and deliver me food.
Yeah, it's about 15 degrees here.
Is that whiskey in the background? Well, of course.
Absolutely.
It's the private reserve.
It's
of course, there's whiskey.
It's the private reserve.
So this one next to me is the good bourbon. The one above Nick is the second best bourbon, and all the rest of those are the old man's private reserve strictly for himself.
Yeah. I do not share well with others, especially bourbon.
It's only about a month's supply, unfortunately.
It probably lasts me about a month. Yeah. My goodness. So we've got some interesting topics to go over tonight. We did we hit on these last week. We all know about the Trey nerf. Trey was nerfed with the wording of as long as there's no dark side galactic legends. Everybody was refunded their Omicron, which was good. The question is, are you guys going to be reapplying it?
Only on one of my accounts, I am.
Only on one? What about you, Kane? Do you have Trey unlocked yet?
I do, and I didn't apply it the first time. I'm gonna wait. Something tells me that she may get hit again. So I'm gonna wait just to make sure that everything's good.
Well, I'm on the fence. I still think it's a solid team, even though it doesn't work against Lord Vader anymore. It's still a really good offensive tool to have in the toolbox, especially for GA, obviously for GAC. So I'm yeah, I'm on the fence. I'm not sure. I might want to put that Omicron somewhere else. I may just, say, the hell with it, and I'll just put it back on. So then shortly after everyone was refunded, we got the TIE Defender. Lovely little ship. Um, less than a day. I think it was that same, and somebody, in chat or any of you gentlemen, correct me if I'm wrong, but our lovely community advisor, Meet Ed, put something out that apparently it's demolishing Executor, not just beating it, but beating it into the ground. So now they're going to have to look into this. And to top it off, icing on the cake, now they're looking into the Riva mission in TB. Is anyone else here sensing a pattern, or is it just me? Now, Kane, you've been in this industry. You've got some background in this. What kind of business model or lack thereof is this? What is going on over in CG? Why are they not testing their game? I'm not hitting the panic button. I'm not saying everybody, oh my God. No, it's maybe this is an isolated couple of incidents. Maybe it's not, but let's go around the room.
So,
Kane, let's start off with you. What is happening right now?
so first and foremost, um, normally I know that you guys are used to seeing Bob with us. Nick has kindly agreed to step in and help us out. Nick is from the Marvel Strike Force uh, podcast, and he stepped in for Bob. My heart goes out to him. We all love Bob. He will be
Yes,
back.
thoughts and prayers to Bob. Yep.
He will be back. Nick, tell us a little bit about your Swiggo account. What's your GP level, and how long you've been playing the game?
Yes, I've just won the award for the worst host ever because I totally bypassed that whole part. So that's my fault.
No worries. I actually have 3 accounts. My main has been playing since January of 19. I still even have the picture in my phone of the OG Thrawn event back when it was just Gear 12, and they came on rotation. That was a lot of fun. That one has 2 GLs, about 6.5 million executor profundity, and working towards C. My main alt is 4.5. Has slicker, but not much else. It's kind of my today I get to work on whatever I want to kind of account. And then the third account is actually an account that's used to be owned by our good friend Run DMV from the Padawans. And it is 6.8 2 GLs and some of the wackiest relics I've ever seen in my life. Like full Relic 7 Jawas, Treya's Relic 8, Scion's Relic 9. He has some thick Sith.
Yeah, thick boy.
So yeah. you're no stranger. You're no stranger whatsoever to Swiggo.
No, not at all.
All right.
I average in upper Erodium for my main. The other 2 kind of suffer because they get played once a day. They live on my computer versus Swiggo lives on my phone for my main.
That was actually going to be my next question. You have 3 accounts. When do you sleep, or is sleep just overrated?
I get the other 2 accounts done in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Just depends on what's going on. If it's a GAC and like a territory battle, it might take longer, but like they don't do conquest. They do TW participation, but it's not, crazy or anything. Versus my main does the full gambit. It does conquest, it does everything else, and I can do it throughout the day.
Okay.
So it's not too bad. And I do not have a free-to-play card. I have not spent on Run, but Run spent. I only spent one time on my alt, which was for a hyperdrive bundle, which I gotten via gift card. And then my main, I spend about $20 a quarter.
Yeah, well, we got to go on the standard set from our predecessors. Nev would revoke your free-to-play card because of that.
Oh yeah, no, it's been long gone.
Yeah.
that thing's been toasted.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna revoke mine when I talked about the Conquest Pass.
Mm.
I'm
Now,
free to play.
hold
I will
on.
stay free to play.
Now hold on. If they somehow made a conquest pass that you could purchase with crystals, you still, at least in my opinion, you would still have your free to play card.
Oh, I agree with
Absolutely,
that too.
absolutely.
Yeah, if you can buy it with crystals, like yeah, I just bought bought a thing of crystals a couple of days ago when I unlocked Profundity, just because my stock got too low. They burned like 4K just to get to the unlock.
So Nick,
Yeah.
once again, man, thanks for filling in.
Yes.
We love
Absolutely.
having you on the show. I mean, if it's all good with you guys, I mean, one time, we might hop over because I've played
Yeah.
Strike Force and I know Logan's played Strike Force.
Yeah, I used to play, and then it got to the point where I'm like, well, I got to pick one or the other, and I just had a lot more time and money invested in Swigo, so I went with Swigo.
Oh, it makes sense. I completely understand. I just balance my time and set it to where I can do
Hmm.
certain things at certain times during the day, and break time and lunchtime means, on the mobile.
Although, man, I will say I was working on a pretty nasty Marauder team. Oh, I liked using that team. I thought Mr. Sinister was nasty in that game.
But
It,
to touch, I'm sorry, I ain't trying to break it off.
no.
No,
But
you're good. You're good.
to get back to the question that you asked me, it's not a matter of them not testing. So everything in the industry is tested before it rolls out. It'll always be tested. It's alpha, it's beta before it hits either of those. It always goes through a run of developer testing. So whoever came up with it, they're the ones that wrote all the code. They're the ones that made it work. All of that. When it worked for them, they implement it into the game, and then they continue to test. Once they're satisfied with the outcome, they send it into alpha testing. So you'll get the NDA people will come in and they'll, can't talk about what they're doing other than with the developers. Then you get the beta test. Once the beta tests are done, the beta test never has to sign an NDA. It's all just kind of here's this. Don't try not to talk about it, but yada yada yada. Most of the time, it's already been announced, so there's no secrets.
All right. So here's my question then. So like let's take the TIE Defender for example. Now let's say in a hypothetical world I happen to be in charge of game development. One of my first questions would be, okay, we've developed this ship, it's in game. Yes, there's been some testing. It's going pew pew pew. It's flying around, making sounds like a petrified beagle. It's doing everything that it's supposed to be doing. But does it beat Executor? Does it beat Profundity? What fleets is it beating? What fleet comps? What's the consistency level? What's the sample size?
But
Obviously,
that's not
again,
part of testing.
Mm-hmm.
When
They're
you
testing to see if it crashes the game
yes,
in alpha. Beta, they may get in a little bit into it, but the thing is too is those dev accounts are theoretically maxed, so you're facing off a bad sample.
yes,
Because those accounts sit so high. You have Relic 9 against Relic 9, so it doesn't really accomplish what an average player will experience. And by the time a beta tester really gets their hands on it and gets through it and works through it, it's already past the stage. They have to make these changes because that feedback may come the same day it goes live, just because their deadlines for that project may be that short for how long
100%.
they have to roll out, especially like marquees. Marquees are not as big of a deal for long-term testing. But think about, for example, Java. We didn't have to have any nurse for him. We didn't have to make any adjustments for him because he was a project in a portfolio set that not portfolio, was a long-term project that created a whole slew of time. They worked on his kit creation, tuning, everything for 6+ months. They're not going to release a game breaker that is a major dollar ticket item. Marquise, if you make some money, you're great. That's not what pays the bills at CG.
And we weren't told about Treya's Omicron until what, 2-3 days before it dropped. So there's no telling if they hit like, hey, let's put an Omicron on Treya, and they decided to do that a week before they told us. So it
But
doesn't
here,
give a lot of testing time to get
Also,
every
a relic,
single
yeah.
test in.
but here's my issue, especially with the Treya Omicron. Everybody that read that and knows this game looked at what that Omicron could do, went, oh, that's going to smoke Lord Vader. It's going to smoke it. Everybody
But it
saw
doesn't smoke the Relic 9 maximums. It just doesn't.
That's true.
You needed a weaker Lord Vader to smoke it with lower relics. So even in their testing, they wouldn't have seen it. So
And-
it got out of the laboratory, so to speak, because they're testing with the wrong set of tools.
And that's what my next question was going to be. Then obviously they should be testing with different parameters of, okay, this is a 4-star defender. How's it doing against Executor now? This is a 7-star TIE defender with a Relic 8 or a Relic 9 Iden Versio. How is that faring up against Executor? And they didn't do, it just seems like they didn't do any of that. And what kind of grinds my gears a little bit is that they release these things to the consumer. We test drive it, and like I said in the opening, the brakes are bad and now needs a recall. So you've got people that are investing time, crystals, money for something that is supposed to work as when it came out. And then the company goes, whoa, wait a minute. Now, no, we can't have this. This is a little much. We got to tone this back. Sorry, our bad. When is that going to start to get old? And when is this going to stop?
So, I mean, Nick, I'm gonna let you have at it, but because you have the same, you were spot on with what you said, what you said about the testing time and portfolios. It's have at it, but you took the words from me last time.
Coming from a background where in Marvel Strike Force, it's a day that ends in Y, that we've got compensation or a redux or something's not working right where they have to. And luckily, you guys actually get where they put in new text to fix things. In Marvel Strike Force, they just change the text to say what it does. Yeah, it just does that now, where the interaction is weird. Well, I mean, they had that with General Skywalker's thing. Like, you know what? We're not fixing that. That's dumb. But it's tough in that CG, I think, from a development perspective, it's the people who design kits, build it out in the code. Those folks who are awesome in terms of a career, much love, respect to you guys. That is a hard job. And, fighting bugs in a code is the worst.
Yes.
But the people who probably actually play this game on their own time, on their own account, is likely Crumb and Meathead.
And
because nobody in financial plays it. I guarantee you that. Given the pricing models and everything, I know for a fact their accounting department doesn't do jack or crap with this game.
Oh yeah.
The game devs probably have their own accounts, but it's like coming from IT background, it's like when my computers are broken, I don't want to touch it. So if you work on developing a game all day, why the hell would I play it on my own time?
And see, we've even got chat going into this. We got Mags. That's par for the course of CG. Carl, let's play. I'm surprised things don't go wrong more often and more catastrophically with the described process. And believe it or not, Carl, it actually does. We just don't know about it because it's all done behind closed doors. We just get the problems with the finished product.
Yep.
And then
again,
and then Nev, it's not that it's missing testing. It's missing the Q&A, which is the quality assurance. And the QA has to be done by the community. You have a group of people who are already members of the community, and you ask them to do a quality assurance check. CG isn't doing the QA, which they have reason
shot the
to.
QA out the cannon. Yeah,
They have reason to because of what happened.
Yeah, The Datacron leak killed our QA. And to CG's credit, they're under the umbrella of EA. As much as, EA being a blood-sucking vampire of a corporation at times, they have better control systems built into their business model that makes it a bit more consistent, but they're not immune from industry-wide problems in gaming. Because we've shortened timetables and made deliverables so much worse in terms of a complete product, it creates that situation. So, for example, I can think of, when Arkham Knight came out, that was a huge deal a few years ago, where it was just a buggy mess. Or like Fallout 76, for example.
Oh,
Absolute bloody nightmare.
Oh,
QA
no.
just dropped everything. That's what happens when you get a rushed product. And with a live updating mobile game, everything is rushed. You have no waterfall planning. It's all agile. It's all the time. You cannot deviate from it, because if you're not putting out content and it's stale, you're losing players and money at exponential rates. Which is why, for example, Strike Force throws characters at you all the time, because they have to keep people interested in order to keep the business model flowing. If you can't give a product that works, you have to give them stuff to distract them from the fact that it's not working.
And then, to sum it all up, old man, it's not that it's missing testing. It's we are the testers because of the leak. We are now the testers, and they're getting grade A feedback, if you ask me.
Well,
Because everybody is throwing everything out there, letting them know that it's wrong. We're going about it the wrong way. And Nev chimed in, no, they haven't. The people in the QA are publicly known. CG does not have a publicly known group of community members that gets to QA new modes, ships, or characters. The groups are always secret. If there's a breach of the confidence, it's known who the leakers are. And that is true. That is true. But because of those leaks, that's what I was saying. We're the new QA. So that we don't get any leaks anymore.
But because of this, isn't this going to create a severe sense of skepticism in the player base when a new tune or a new feature of the game comes out? Like, for instance, the Riva mission. It's been going on for how long? And they're now going, oh, darn, we need to fix that. And by the way, it's going to be harder now.
It's significantly harder, because they forgot to tag Jawa Scavenger. The linchpin of the whole freaking mission. It's one of those where you hear in like the road ahead where they say we put so much effort, so much thought into this, and you forgot to check tags on your linchpin character for this mission. It makes me skeptical that is what they actually meant to do. I think it was, again, it's very, very cynical and there's no way to prove it, that it was a means to get people to spend money, whale hard, get the upper guilds to spend heavy on Inquisitors, which they've been loath to do, to get people that head on the tip of the spear, and then they're going to pull it backward. It's deeply cynical, and there's no way to prove it, and I'm not going to make that accusation, but it doesn't look great when, this event's going to become crazy hard because of how the Inquisitors work as a mechanic. Those thermal detonators are going to fly everywhere with this team, because all they do is assist each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the thing. Like, you won't make that claim, but I will. It's like you robbed a bank and your getaway driver fell asleep in the car.
Yeah.
And see,
like, come on.
See, Neville point fingers. CG has to do something, and they're incompetent or negligent. If they don't replace the old group with a much bigger public group, And then Carl once again chimes in, or does it make people want to get stuff faster to make the use of early unforeseen gains? And I don't feel he's
Oh,
wrong with
that's a
that. I
good
mean,
point.
that does push
Yeah.
people.
Mhm. It creates more of that scarcity mechanic. Is if it's going to be busted, for even just one GAC, you're talking the difference between Kyber 2, Kyber 1 in terms of your crystal count. Yeah, that can make a difference. That has a financial gain to it. So, or if you're talking, a TW Omicron, you're talking a handful of, Relic 9 mats for a Kraken who's desperate for those. Yeah, that can make all the difference for hyper competitive guilds. I mean, I think it is going to exacerbate. That's a really good point. It's going to exacerbate it on the Kraken side of the equation. It's going to create hesitancy for those of us who aren't willing to go that far, and create urgency on the upper end. And it's going
Exactly.
to exacerbate the difference between the spenders and the non-spenders again.
For instance, your typical consumer that doesn't do any kind of content creation, they play the game, they have fun, they keep track of content creators for reviews, strategies.
Mhm.
Now a new product or a new tune or a new ship or whatever is going to come out, and that consumer is now going to hit the pause button before they open that wallet, and they're going to wait, and they're going to wait for other people to figure out how it's working, what it works against, what it doesn't work against, and whether it's working too well, and whether or not this is going to get fixed on a future update. And I just
And
I'm
yeah,
sorry, I don't know censoring. I don't know much about this industry, but I mean, I don't see that as a good business model. I just don't. It
I
doesn't
mean,
make any sense to me.
yeah, we've already have that. I mean, Arnold does any day marquee releases, first day releases. He does whale or fail with it. I mean, he already is doing that. I mean, within, a few minutes of his stream ending on TIE Defender, we had the post for the changes. Dollars to donuts, meatheads watching that stream. The game devs are watching that stream, going, oh crap, we didn't consider that. Oh crap, that's not what we were wanting. Hey, that's working exactly the way we wanted to. Good job, guys.
And
They're evaluating. We are live playtesting through our content creators effectively
Yeah.
because we
Nev
have
did
people
it
willing to
again.
spend it.
And Nev did it again. 100 community members with test accounts that are publicly known gives the community. Instead of changing the group on a schedule, you simply rotate people out every time there's a leak. Simple.
Yep. Well, not rotate is you punish them
Well, yeah, you pull
with
one group out of
NDAs.
rotation, and you fill that group while you're still using the other groups of the community that you have.
All right.
No, because that will encourage leak rotation, and that's not going to work.
Also
So
true.
what you
Also true.
create is you actually have to put on the legal side enforcement of those NDAs publicly. I mean, it's not going to happen from EA. They're not going to announce they're suing somebody, but I guarantee you, for example, if a content creator is the leaker and they get sued, you're going to hear about it.
Oh yeah.
Because we're dealing with people who are some of the most litigious companies in the world, EA and Disney. If you think for a second that you're going to escape an NDA, I guarantee you're not. You're going to get kicked in the face.
Oh yes.
Don't leak. And whoever the leaker was, I guarantee you, he's got an attorney and he is staring down a very, very big lawsuit.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
If not, actually, they may even just shove him into arbitration and it'd be even worse for him. But again, getting sidetracked. It's Dev's idea of 100 publicly known people is good because it can create stakeholders, reputation, and consistency. Because you want people like, the playbook, who does a lot of in-depth mechanical testing. You want guys who can help hype content like Arnold. You want a diverse batch of people, but we have to make the understanding of here are the ground rules, break the rules, and it's going to be bad for you. And it's going to take a long time for CG to rebuild that trust. I mean, it's a huge. What's the incentive?
Before we go to break, real quick, let's do rapid fire on this last question. Is this something that's going to continue?
Absolutely.
Can we expect more of these shenanigans? Wee little shenanigans.
Absolutely. Until they get that QA process done or more time. Absolutely.
I'm gonna pistol whip the next person that says shenanigans.
What's that place you
I
like
would
to eat at with
say
all
we're
the funny stuff on the wall?
Censoring.
Now I've got South Park in my head. Thanks, guys. I would say we're going to see it for at least another quarter. I think that's just an amount of time that there's going to be correction. And I think that the current pipeline batch is going to get evaluated, but not as closely as stuff that's still in mid stage. Stuff that's already ready to go in this next quarter is already done. They're finishing touches and it's going to be implemented. It's in testing phase. They can't change a lot of that, but they can for future process.
Testing's bad, okay? And on that note, we will get right back to you folks. We are going to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to address a rumor that just hit today and some hot news and some hot takes. We'll be right back with you on the Escape Pod Cast, the old man's private reserve.
Wait, what's the actual news? Did I miss something?
Are you like us and play more than one mobile game? Well, we have good news. The Escape Podcast has expanded its lineup.
There's the flagship Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes show every first and third Friday with Paul Anthony and the Nav.
And the Marvel Strike Force show on the second and fourth Fridays with Flair, Kyle, and Nick.
Join our Discord to stay up to date with these and our additional shows produced under the Nerdy Network flag.
Everything happens live on the Escape Pod Cast Twitch channel, or you can catch up on what you missed on our YouTube channel or your favorite podcast app.
Thanks for listening to the Escape Pod Cast. Be nice to each other, damn it. Hotbot in Hot Utils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, Hot Utils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game. Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode? Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs. Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, Hot Utils is an amazing value. And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature. Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all? With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars. Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools. Hot Utils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod Cast. Visit hotutils.com to learn more. That's HOTUTILS.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Hey there, listeners. Merchandise specialist Critty K here. Do you enjoy the Escape Pod and want to support the channel and get something a little extra for yourself as well? Head on over to tpublic.com/user/theescapepodcast and grab a Team Neil, Team Paul, Critty Play, or many other fun Padawan designs on your choice of shirt, cup, sticker, mask, or even a magnet. And be sure to check out the Mrs. Anthony Shirts channel on the Escape Podcast Discord and get the latest info on the other designs I make as well. Sometimes there's even a sale going on, so it is smart to stop on by. Thank you for supporting the Escape Pod Cast.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena Tracking Bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
You're listening to the Escape Pod Cast.
And we're back live with the Escape Pod Cast, the old man's private reserve. Once again, I'm the Immortal Kane. You have old man Logan all the way down at the end. He's the old guy. And
there was much rejoicing.
And with us tonight is Nick from the Marvel Strike Force.
So there's a interesting rumor floating around, guys. Have you happened to have heard what could be coming down the road? Because I was at home earlier today, taking care of some stuff in the old kitchen, and you're doing something in the kitchen, you want to listen to something, so go on YouTube like you do. And there was the Grand Admiral, who I affectionately call the Hugh Hefner of Swigo. He doesn't have Playboy Playmates, but man, the dude's got stormtroopers all over the joint. So it was a video that said, and don't quote me on this, I think it said something to the effect of major leak, crate dragon raid incoming. Now, if this is true with the leaks, I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse. We did this in the last topic, but come on, man. This company seems to have more leaks than a World War II U-boat. Like, well, what is happening? So, I mean, I'm okay. I'd be all right with a new raid as long as we can sim the Sith pretty soon. That'd be nice. I mean, isn't it time that we sim that thing?
Definitely. I mean, the rewards are, insignificant on the end, especially if you don't get a chance to hit it. Guy solos it, and you're just like, yay, generic rewards.
Oh, I know. The sim raid's been live, and this happened like a couple weeks ago, and I was out. I was at work, and I couldn't get to my phone immediately. Like, Sith raid. And I think it was 10 minutes later, and it was done. I was just like, well, okay. Well, there goes that idea. I guess I'll just get basement rewards on this. So, I mean, I like to participate. Your rewards are a little bit better if you at least get a score. So, but I don't know. New raid, is this? And this kind of goes into the other topic. If they do a new raid, they need to sim the Sith raid. If they don't, are we getting to a point where there's just too much to do in this game? Because I am not going to lie. Hell Week is when there's TB and GAs. It's just sometimes I'm like, I don't want to pick up my phone, but I have to. What do you guys think on this?
I would like to see the Sith raid simmed. I say that because, I mean, if you've got a high enough relic slicker, you can solo it. I mean, why not just go ahead and make it simmable?
Yeah, with Slicker, First Order Officer, Treya, Thrawn, and who was the fifth? This is gonna. You know what? I'm gonna kick myself right in the teeth if I don't remember this, and I'm gonna end up kicking myself because I don't remember. Anywho, but yeah, it can be soloed. I've done it. It can be done. So maybe it's time. So if they are going to do a new raid, then it's time to sim this one. And I mean, a crate dragon. I mean, I'm down. I mean, it's not the Death Star raid people have been talking about since the dawn of time, but a crate dragon raid is pretty cool. I think I mean, I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, we want a Death Star right now." No, I don't. No, Please, no more ships. I don't want to deal with my ships. No, just stop. Just stop your nonsense. No, please don't do that to me. Don't put that 8 on me, Ricky Bobby. I don't. No, I want none of that. What do you guys think? New raid, good for the game, bad for the game? If it's happening, we don't know. Then we're speculating.
I think it would be good for the game, most definitely, especially if we get the sim for Sith. And heck, they could even pair it with, a heroic tank, similar to Crankor. So
That
I
would
think
work.
that wouldn't be, yeah, especially because we need more methods for gear. And if they're going to give us Relic 10, which is inevitable,
I was gonna say this is my hot this is my hot take. If they do this, that's
put
where
the Relic 9 mats.
your Relic
Yeah.
10.
Oh, yeah. Your Relic 10
stuff
mats
is
to be in
gonna
the crate raid.
Yep.
And then your Relic 9 mats would be supplemented into a heroic tank with on the same difficulty level as Crankor, maybe a little bit tougher, but not as tough as the crate would be. But that kind of scaling difficulty to where your alliance is probably going to be the same kind of level in order to do challenge tank as you do challenge Rancor. And then eventually we get challenge Sith along the way.
Yeah,
I actually disagree with you on the load balancing, because CG did something that was really quite kind of them, in that they reconnoitered that schedule not too long ago to where things aren't smashing up against each other so hard as normal, where you're not doing Conquest and TV at the same time for light side.
That is true. That is true.
So they did take the load balance into consideration. Unlike Strike Force, where we never stop.
Oh no, my son played Strike Force and he said, "Well, what was it called? Like Dark Dimension or something?" And he was like, "Dad, you don't like you complain about Conquest. You don't want to know how long I'm doing this for." I'm going, "You're right. I probably don't."
Took me 35 days to do Dark Dimension 5.
Jedi rules.
Good.
Thanks for the sub, bud.
Good night, as old Smoke Brown would say.
Yeah, one battle a day.
Jedi rules says, "Hey from San Diego. Hey, how you doing, bud? We are spread out
San
across
Diego.
America."
I was born there, Balboa Naval Hospital.
That explains a lot.
It does.
I love you, buddy. I love you.
I know.
I mean, I think it'd be exciting, and it pairs in well with season 3 of Mando coming in.
It does.
I think it could give us an opportunity to pick up some more Mandalorian characters, and maybe give us. I mean, the problem is we have Beskar Mando in the Razor Crest. We've never had one character cover 2 ships, but I think it'd be a great opportunity to get Mando's Starfighter.
Oh, that Naboo Starfighter would be so nice.
I mean, I'm working on getting that Lego set.
That would be pretty cool
to
have one tune and 2 ships.
Do Darksaber Mando, and then don't make him a marquee, but make him a legendary, or even a galactic legend with a ship. We've never had that before. Is give the crate raid the ship, and then give us a galactic legend Darksaber Mando, depending on the fallout of season 3. Maybe he's Mandalore. Who knows? I don't know. If you're listening to this after season 3 has started or finished, I have no idea what's happened yet. So speculation galore. I have no information.
I'm just going to stop you right there, because I'm very envious that you're building the Naboo Starfighter, the Lego set. Because I was at the store with my lovely bride-to-be, and there I am, and we happen to walk by that section, and I see it, and my jaw hit the floor. I picked it up and looked at it, and in the corner of my eye, I see this lovely woman giving me the look like, "Oh my God, I actually sleep next to you." So needless to say, I put it back.
I gotta turn my green screen off for a second.
I put it back.
See?
Oh,
it's not the UCS, but it's the normal. I'm an AFL.
Good night.
Yeah. That's not the only one that I even have out. I've got a U-Wing. I've got Kylo's shuttle just in my immediate grasp.
No, I will say that my prized possession of Star Wars Lego is my giant sized Super Star Destroyer.
Ooh.
Yep.
UCS.
Yep. That's 2 weeks of my life I'll never get back. But it was worth it.
I mean, you could sell it for about $3,000 nowadays.
No, I kind of like it. I actually want to like somehow put like little blue LED lights in it and make it light up all blue.
You can get those on Amazon.
Yep.
That's true. You can. So back to the raid. So or the possibility of this raid. So I'm down. I think it'd be good for the game. Some people may find it infuriating, but I think it's rather hysterical that they add a new game mode and a roster that you've built and loved and pampered and put a lot of time, blood, sweat, and tears in, just gets Ed Norton curb stomped out of the gate. And you just kind of sit back there, wait for the Chernobyl dust to settle and go, my goodness, yeah, that's a problem.
Well, it provides opportunity to spend more money. Because if it's a crate dragon we're dealing with, there's a faction that, is just sitting out there, not getting a lot of love, only, minor requirements for GL, and it was more to try and force whales to spend on it because it was such a low, number of relics as Tuskens. And boy, howdy, wouldn't you know, there's some data mines. We have 2 more marquees coming.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Do you think this is the possibility of the door being opened for the next Galactic Legend?
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely think it's either that or it's a legendary. I mean, I think the problem is that Iden ship doesn't point towards Darksaber Mando. It points towards Leia.
Yep.
For one particular reason, in that the TIE Defender, the ship we got, the lore's wrong. Yes. They picked Iden for no reason at all. They just needed a pilot. They wanted it to be a crewless ship because of the executor interactions.
Yeah,
they need to put somebody in there.
I'm trying to figure out how at the beginning of the year they're coming out with these characters, or they're coming out with these ships, and we all know what's coming. Jedi Survivor drops in March. Everybody that plays Swigo, that knows about Swigo, knows that we're gonna get Cal Kestis.
He's gonna be a legendary. There's no way they're gonna waste him on a marquee for cash out.
And I'm opening the wallet for that one. I'll go out and rob somebody. I don't care. I'm opening the wallet for that one.
Maybe it'll even be a galactic confrontation. We haven't had one of those in years.
I don't see him being a GL, but
no,
and only because there's really not enough characters in Swigo right now that are from the games that would back Cal.
Financially, no, because you have the only one who really, the 2 people who interacted with him are 2 of the highest relics in this game.
Yes.
Being Darth Vader, no. Second Sister, who's required for a bunch of stuff. And then what? He doesn't interact with anybody else.
Yeah.
Other than like Stormtrooper, who's, he's not required for anything, but he's good on several different teams. No, you're absolutely right. Cal's not a GL, but he could definitely be a legendary or a galactic confrontation of some kind.
Oh yeah, no, he'll definitely be a legendary. Now, the other thing with CG, I feel like with the first 4 legends, they had a lot of attitude, a lot of room to kind of work where they could do certain things, release certain things, and not necessarily tip their hand as to where they were headed. Mm-hmm. Now, with 7 legends in the game, the available tunes left to Relic are slow. Well, not well. Yeah, it's dwindling. So if they are leaning in the direction of an Endor Leia, which I would be just absolutely thrilled with, get your Ewoks ready.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All of them.
Well, especially because there is the biggest faction in this game that doesn't have a dedicated GL is the Rebel faction.
Rebels.
It's 100% going to be in their category. Because other than them, the next biggest would be like Separatists. Which there's no chance. There's just not. I'd be more surprised if we got something that was, more like a GL ship, like an invisible hand or something like that, or even, the great big droid sphere thing.
So with that being said, with that being said, the no Rebel GL. Could it be, and I'm only going straight off of game lore, if they do drop Castus and they make him a GL, because I mean one of the main things in the first game was he was a Jedi, but it was all about how can he help the rebels. You had Saw Gerrera, the battles on Kashyyyk. I mean, it was always something that dealt with Jedis or rebels. Could they implement him in as a rebel GL?
Not when you have literally the most iconic character in Star Wars history to counter against.
Yeah,
the thing is
I
that,
don't. When you think of legend, it's just like a lot of people were on the fence on whether or not Jabba should have been considered a legend. Hoth Leia is just, or not Hoth Leia, Endor Leia. I mean, because if you think of it this way, if they do this right, this could be one of the best galactic legend chases ever. Because I will do a whale or fail on Scandinavian Rex with the beard. I will just sign me up. Here, take my money. I mean, if they do it right, it could be outstanding. But again,
I actually argue she may even cross tab with Resistance. That we're not getting Endor Leia, we're getting General Leia from Episode 7.
Please no.
I mean, that would make sense to put her from that time period, because then you can have her with Rebels or Resistance, and that would make really, really good sense.
This is why I drink.
Plus, it makes you Relic Zori Bliss.
You guys throw this stuff at me, General Leia, and I got to sit here and stew on this and think about it. And
oh, come on! You don't want her alt being the flying through space gimmick.
Thank you. No.
You're welcome for that. You're absolutely welcome. I mean, they gave us Ben Solo, who literally appears in less time than Lord Vader did.
Cascade, we're not getting GL Slave Leia. It's not
no
gonna
chance.
happen.
We're not getting Hut Slayer Leia.
Cascade, brother, you need to let that one go. It's just it's not. For all you folks at home that just want to have a tune that you can look at because she's scantily clad, no, not happening.
We didn't get midriff Padme. We're not getting scanty Leia. We're not getting Slave Leia.
Yeah. Where's midriff Padme? I mean, come on. But no,
I mean, she's in the one mission in Phase 4, I think.
So real quick, before we go to break, we do have to bring up the Jawa bundle. We
oh yeah,
their Meathead put out that there was a break with the Jawa bundle. People were going into the store, they were buying it. It was supposed to give you 100 salvage, and
the bundle is horrible, by the way.
And players were only getting 50. Now they've corrected it since, or at least said that they're going to correct it since, and said that they're going to comp you the 50 that you missed out on. Now, as per for the testing that we talked about earlier, This has absolutely nothing to do with testing. That is a bug in the code. And you're talking millions of lines of code to look for a decimal point. That is, that's a needle in a haystack, paper plate in a snowstorm, trying to pick out that one star while you're floating around in space that you know is home, but where is it? That is that decimal point. It doesn't get easy at all. And the more that you put into the game, the harder it's going to get.
I'm sorry. Somebody in chat put, please no Mary Poppins Leia. Bravo. I toast to your good fortune, sir. Thank you. That was I enjoyed that one. That made me feel a whole lot better.
Oh, that's Jack. That's Jack. That's a guild mate. I love Jack. Jack is awesome.
Yeah, the Mary Poppins Leia. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I will be able to go to bed happy this evening. Thank you. I like that very much.
Coincidentally, Jack is the one that's trying to keep up with your Gungan farm.
He's now on my Spencer list. As for the Jawa pack, yeah, I mean, I do, and again, I will give CG the business when I feel like it's warranted. I will also tip the cap when it's warranted. Treya, they refunded the Omicron. Thank you. Awesome. Good show. They're going to give people the rest of the shards for the money that they spent, as they should. So all these things are happening, but I do have to say, I think CG is being a little more attentive about what this is doing to the player base. And, you know, I mean, I would think that the first rule in sales is you want repeat business.
Always.
You know, it's like you go to an International House of Pancakes and they're out of pancakes. Are you going to go there again? I think not. So you want to keep the customer base happy. Man, I haven't been to an IHOP in years. Ugh, you talk about pancakes. Now I'm getting hungry. Anyway, is it break time?
Yes, it is.
Okay, we're going to break. We'll have the one and only Nev. Oh, I cannot wait to get this man on. Because when he rants in that accent, it's really hard for me to keep it together. But I can't wait for him to come on and give us his hot takes on what is going on with CG, the state of the game, and we're going to ask him, how involved in Swigo is he right now? All this and more on the Escape Pod cast, the old man's private reserve, coming right back at you.
Hotbot in Hot Utils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, Hot Utils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, Hot Utils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
Hot Utils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod cast.
Visit hotutils.com to learn more. That's HOTUTILS.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, Be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including after-show access, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
The Escape Pod Cast News.
Greetings, Padawans, and welcome back to your MSF Pocket Dimension news update.
Hey, Nick, did you play with Mystical Portal Conjuration again? Because I don't see or hear Kyle, or heck, even Bob for that matter in this multiverse.
It's funny that you say that. I'm not sure what's going on, but this actually wasn't me. Kyle denied the portal request. He's got a lot of travel ahead.
Hey, you could have offered him like a portal to all the places he's going. Just a hand swish one way and another hand swish back.
That would require the last milestone, and Scopely doesn't let that go for free.
Well, speaking of milestones, U.S. Agents month-long events come to pass, and with it, a superstar diva from the top rung has taken his place with Titania.
I just hope I have enough gold ores by the end of this. Also, did you see we already have Morgan Le Fay again?
The heck with that witch! How about that death costume, dude?
Honestly, it's one of the best hands-down costumes I've seen for this game. He actually looks like a horseman, and they gave us his awakened abilities as well.
That's right. In Arena, his ult will now prolong effects on all of his horsemen and Apocalypse allies by one turn. Plus, if he's got his friends along with him, that big attack can't be blocked.
His passive finally gives him some actual horseman synergy. Would have been nice in DD5 last week. Also, we got the final requirements for the final saga, closing in on the unlock.
That we did. Instead of a full roster, we're actually only requiring Scopely's original tunes, so Spider-Weaver, Deathpool, and Kestrel, whoever she actually is, for a grand total of 23 tunes.
I will never financially recover from all this teal and ISO.
It's also crazy to imagine that we'll start seeing Apocalypse, hopefully in the game for real, this patch cycle. Has it ever occurred to you that he looks like a famous blue bomber?
I mean, does he come with battle chips?
He unfortunately stopped with Drill Man and Proto Man. That's all he's got. Not even Sheep Man.
Before this turns into a Mega Man podcast, at least none of his costumes look as bad as the Year of the Rabbit ones we got for Shang-Chi, Braun, and Colleen Wing. No wonder they didn't want them in last week's event.
Dude, they win some and lose all the rest of them when it comes to these costumes. Statures is basically just her movie appearance, so that's mid at least.
I mean, cribbing off the MCU is not the worst idea in the world, and it tends to look decent minus Thor.
Or, it could be just as bad as we're back to another run to max level with the new level 95 cap. People hit the cap in, no joke, a single day.
Well, at least they didn't give us Gear 18. For now. Otherwise, I just hope it helps the skill raid team for Doom. They are screaming for some consistency.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until your Shang-Chi gets straight up morbed right out the gate and he drops like a wet noodle hitting the floor.
Did you see that we may have to open gold orbs for 2 events this month? I'm not sure how anyone's stock is going to hold up after all of this.
Well, considering Abra just hit the event item the day the event started, I'm kind of low-key pissed they decided to not make her orb in the store. Come on, man. I want my 6 Titania shards now.
You think you will get 6. Maybe it'll be 7 instead.
Did you just carry a joke from last week?
This is a recurring pocket dimension, Flair. We have to build long-standing jokes, otherwise it'll collapse from all the bugs.
Speaking of the pocket dimension, I believe one of your rogue portal trials pulled in BCM to help us out for this next week.
Yeah, trials. Let's call it that. Definitely not accidentally causing irreparable harm to our podcast dimension without testing it first. That would be reckless. Maybe I'll get some compensation ready for the audience.
Okay. Well, it seems like this iteration of the dimension is about done. So, hey, let's get out of here before we have to hear something along the lines about like Jabba the Hutt, whoever that fat slug is.
Yeah, we gotta go. I see the Swaga version of me. He cannot see I'm here, or the time paradox caused will spiral out of control. See you guys next week for the MSF edition.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Pod Castaways wants you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Pod Castaways, all for free. See Audible website for details. Restrictions may apply.
Hey there, listeners. Merchandise specialist Critty K here. Do you enjoy the Escape Pod and want to support the channel and get something a little extra for yourself as well? Head on over to tpublic.com/user/theescapepodcast and grab a Team Neil, Team Paul, Critty Play, or many other fun Padawan designs on your choice of shirt, cup, sticker, mask, or even a magnet. And be sure to check out the Mrs. Anthony Shirts channel on the Escape Podcast Discord and get the latest info on the other designs I make as well. Sometimes there's even a sale going on, so it is smart to stop on by. Thank you for supporting the Escape Pod Cast.
You're listening to the Escape Pod Cast.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Escape Podcast, the old man's private reserve. Everyone, please help me welcome the one, the only Nev.
Hello, Governor.
I love that.
Oh, Nev, we've missed you. We have.
Of course you have. Of course you have.
Of course. So now that we have you here, we've. I mean, I'm dying to hear this. We've got to get right into it. No holds barred. You've been listening on the episode with the first segment of the nerfs and testing and what is going on with CG. Man, what are your thoughts, brother? Thoughts, gripes, concerns, grievances, opinions, speculation, tinfoil hat. Just give it to us. What do you got? What is going on?
Well, I mean, I am free to play, and I've always been free to play. Yep. But I'm so I don't have a skin in the game. I'm a consumer, not a customer. Two different types of class. Two completely different types of class. You got free to play, pay to win. But if you boil it down to what it is, it's customer and a consumer. I consume the product, but I am not a customer. I do not pay. I don't part. I have no skin in the game. Just to differentiate what I am. And because I'm a consumer and I play the game so casually now, I don't care. So when it comes to these little things, I said some of it in the chat regarding the testing. I have no doubt that they do testing, but they don't do quality assurance. It's as simple as that. There is no quality assurance. There never has been proper quality assurance since they got rid of the actual test program where they had a bunch of content creators with test accounts, and they would make streams. I mean, Skill Tricks would do, show you how to use your characters and all sorts of stuff like that. And they also got the pre-access to characters and stuff like that. And sure, I just think that it needs to be a larger, more public group. I threw 100 out there. It doesn't have to be 100. It can be a little bit more manageable than something like that. You just need a decent sample size. You really do need a decent sample size.
You'd have a really good sample size with 100 people plugging away.
You'd have a good samples. So that's why I'm saying that. And here's the thing: it's either negligence or incompetence. And the reason why I say it's either negligence or incompetence is because they've done the testing, ignored the results, and proceeded, which would be incompetent, or that they've done the testing, they know that it sucks, they know that it's not what it should be, but then they release it anyway, and that's negligence because they knew. So they either did it and they didn't realize the results and put the product out, or they did the testing, knew that, you know, maybe we shouldn't release this, maybe we need to do some more tweaking or some more testing, and it's like, no, sod it, just put it out anyway. It's one of the two, if they have indeed been doing the testing. So that's regarding that. As with the nerfs, nerfs happen all the time. I put the Omicron on my Treya, but never used her. So just don't do GAC anymore. So I mean, I do. I mean, I actually enjoyed doing my GAC, my Erodium 3 match, because my opponent put down just some of them. It was like a classic defense from 2 years ago. So you know, you've got Carthanasi and his team under him, and I'm like, beautiful, Relic Sevens. You know, so you know, Kylo solo, and then there was one there. You know, what was it? There was I did a Wampa solo. I got to do the Ewoks with Nest. I got to do I think I did about 7 solos, and then I used it was a defense from like 2 years ago. So I had fun. I full cleared it. Only took me 10, 15 minutes. But the round before the last round, I saw my opponent put down a Datacon and switched off. That was it. I just because I just don't care. So that's what I mean by casual. I'm sure that I'm in a brilliant guild and a brilliant alliance, and the crap that they put up from me is, you know, they clearly have the patience of angels, because sometimes, you know, sometimes I'll log in like maybe once every 48 hours on my alt account. So I am constantly missing territory wars. I am constantly missing raids. I'm constantly missing my 500, like so much, like quite a lot. I mean, I try to pull it together for territory battles as best as possible, but you know, I don't do conquest. I don't do challenges. I am, you know, a really, really, really casual player. So I can, my opinion is from that level. I'm not even attempting.
Yeah,
to
this is
the top. You know, this is not like back when, you know, I was in Kyber 1 and I was, you know, pushing for, you know, a top 10 slot. Yeah, it's not like that. So yeah.
Well, Kyber 1 is shrinking by the day. So I mean, Lord knows
but
when that's going to get addressed.
Yeah, Kyber 1's always been. It was designed to, the squishing that they do is designed to make it smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, to the point where to a point where in the not too distant future, Kyber 1 will literally be the elite of the elite.
Oh yeah, yep.
It will be the tip of the spear, and you're gonna see your Tassanexes and your playbooks there. You know, there are still several content creators that are, you know, in constant top 10 battles, and at some point down the, you know, the squishing will reduce that down to a, you know, league, and Kyber 2 will become like the best you can achieve, best you can hope to achieve, unless you are a whale, a kraken, or a killer whale.
Now, Kane and Nick had said something that I found very striking earlier in the first segment, that the community is now the testers. That being said, do you feel that this, whether it's intentional or not, do you feel that this business model that they have implemented right now, whether by fault or by choice, is this sustainable? And is there more utility in setting up another beta program?
Well, there is. It just needs to be done right, and what they glean from it needs to be adhered to. You see, the problem at the moment is we had beta testers, and they would probably they gave CG advice, you know, and CG passed that advice up the chain, and the bean counters went, well, you know, they're just beta testers. We don't care. We want to push this out anyway because it'll make us money. That's datacons. So the fact that the leak occurred on something so significant to this game, right? Okay, because that before that leak, I'm just trying to think. The bait that group was fine. It was running along. It was ticking along. It took datacons to and obviously this is just my opinion, it took datacons to make a person that was a beta tester and hadn't leaked anything before go, you know what, no, they are not listening to us. They, the CG is not going to listen to us on this. And they decide, what they should have done was they should have waited until it was out. How you properly you walk away. You don't break your non-disclosure agreement, but you still walk away. And you say afterwards, look, hey, I was part of a beta tester group. We told them that this was a bad idea. They ignored us. And after it was released, I am coming forward saying I was a beta tester. I've left the program because there's no point in me being a beta tester. If 70% of the beta testers say, yeah, this is a bad idea, don't put it in the game, and 70% of the beta, I'm just pulling that number out of thin air. Okay. But it's leak badly, yeah, and I do, that's the if I was on that's the way I would have done it. If I was a beta tester, that's the way I would have done it. I would have waited until after it is, so I'm not releasing anything, and then I would have stepped down and said, look, there's no point me being part of the group, and I don't want to be part of a huge group of people that are just going to be ignored by you. You either want our opinion, or if you don't want our opinion, why have you got us together as a group? You're wasting our time, and that kind of thing.
And that is one of the that is one of the biggest issues that beta testers have. I've beta tested a lot, and it is frustrating that you're being pulled in to beta test, and your 2 cents is not really listened to. Do you have an entire group?
It's ignored for financial reasons.
I mean, I understand that. I understand it being ignored for financial reasons, but at the same time, what's the point of your beta test if you're not going to listen to your testers? Your testers are the one doing all of this field test for you for zero profit. They're opted in because they want to play the game. They want the experience.
And to your credit, Neil, Ranger was very similar. Ranger
he
from
was.
RSG.
Ranger was.
He did very. I mean, other than quitting. I mean, they dumped the program before he had the opportunity to resign. But he expressed exactly what you're talking about. That he was a tester. He told them this was going to be bad. It was pretty universal that all of the beta testers were going, "What the hell are you doing?" And they didn't care. The thing is, too, is that it's not just a financial decision. There's a difference between business decisions and business political decisions. Decisions that seem arbitrary have different movers behind them than just it makes good business sense. In fact, sometimes the most nonsense decisions are those business political, and that there's some kind of dynamic that's unseen from people who have massive amounts of power, or at least in the situation have the leverage to go, no, happening. Forget whoever's telling you otherwise. This is happening for our earnings requirements because I'm in charge. It sucks. I deal with it, but it's something that we have that.
No. It's see, I'm not gonna apportion that amount to that group of people. The developers created something that could be monetized. They didn't have to make datacons. They didn't have to create them. They didn't have to say, hey, let's make this for the game, thinking that it was going to be free. It was going to cost something. They made something that they knew could be heavily monetized. They didn't have. I mean, it's like, oh, I mean, I don't get me wrong. I get that some of them are just thinking from a creative point of view, right? But you can't be in an online world with mobile games and stuff like that and not understand that that's what happens with mobile games. That if you're a developer working on a mobile game that makes money through microtransactions, and you don't understand that every single thing that you bring to the game could potentially be monetized, it's that, yeah. So does it? They make so the devs have got, they're just as guilty as the the bean tickers that are at the top in the ivory tower that go, yeah, it's getting monetized. That's it. It's you don't, the devs that make they don't get off with it scot-free. It's like, oh well, we just made it. It's not up to us whether it does or does not make money. It's like, no, you don't get to use that excuse. You created something you knew could be monetized, and when presented to the bean, here's something that can be monetized, but they're not going to say we don't think it should be implemented. It's the beta testers that say we don't think that this should be implemented. So it's equal there. Developers are just as.
I would push back in a little bit of that. The developer, the physical people who write the code and develop the software itself are not the ones who make the decisions on what is monetizable.
Yeah,
or
no,
not.
I'm not saying I'm not saying they are.
The game director of this, who has a very notorious history of doing exactly these kinds of tactics. It's why EA brought him in.
Dude used to work on FIFA.
Which is
one of the most predatory games. No, sorry. The most predatory game.
There you go.
There has not been a
soccer game.
Yes, there has not been a game more predatory than that game ever. Nothing will ever surpass it.
It got full-on EU hearings. It got so bad.
Now,
what?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Now,
in European countries legislate. Were forced to legislate.
Yes.
Against these games because they had no self-control whatsoever. No
the predatory
self-control.
Loot box mechanics were so egregious that it required legislative intervention in the European Union. It's why in some countries, for example, a different game that I know of, Disney Magic Kingdoms for Games Loft, they have to offer in certain countries fixed character purchases. They are not allowed to use the chess system in, I think it's Japan, because they are required by law to offer it directly for cost instead of the roll mechanic. I tell you what, getting that implemented in the United States will radically change the entirety of the video games industry. It won't change profitability, but it will change the landscape, I argue, in the player's benefit.
Now, to piggyback on what you were saying about how the coders they don't implement the monetization. So you're partly right with that. About 20, maybe 30% do. That's how they move up from coders to developers. They can sit there and they can look at it and say, okay, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to make money. This is what I think would be good for the game. I'm going to throw it in, run it past the devs, and see if I can get a leg up. That is 100% how coders move up.
But I will say,
that's why I said developers and not
come
coders.
from the bottom. Datacons is not something that came from the bottom.
No, not at all.
This came from the C-suite at CG. There's no doubt in my mind that this was not the brainchild of the C-suite because of how much resistance that was put through it, especially from the beta program. And I'm sure even the developers are like, what the hell is this?
Oh, yeah,
Why are you having us do this? And the end of it was, shut up, sit down, do it. We are monetizing in this way because we are tired of hearing X, Y, and Z about certain things. Is we thought Omicrons was going to be the change that ended reworks. Because in their mind, they didn't make any money on reworks. So instead of that, we'll just add Omicrons over time. Well, it's not making enough money. What if we made Omicrons that change?
Yeah, see, that I agree with 100%.
create.
That was the sole purpose of Omicrons.
Oh yeah, it was to hyper monetize the concept further. Omicrons was the precursor.
And to create a new currency that you had to spend on, and therefore we're going to implement galactic challenges where you have to have certain teams, the new hotness, to gain access to these. But again, the community, the loving community that it is, and that's not a slight, I'm being serious.
Oh, I thought you were making a toxic salt mine joke.
No, they come out and outstanding content is put out on how to go, no, yeah, you're going to put out these challenges, but guess what? We're going to give the community ways to uncensor this and figure it out. So you get your 2 Omicrons.
Now, I will say, you know, I'm watching the chat. I'm reading the chat. Everybody is really happy to see Nev, and I get to see Nev all the time. So Nev is streaming still. He's went to Modern Warfare 2, correct?
Yeah. I play it practically every single. Yeah, I play it every single day. I spend the time that I used to spend on Swagger exclusively on Modern Warfare 2. I'm usually in the DMZ, yeah, and I have a lot more fun doing it because I'm playing with I'm playing with other people live.
Now you told me
playing with your friends live. Strangely enough, CG, EA is something that people like to do with games. Play against each other live.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hint.
Now you told me a while back, and we still need to play. I've got to update. I've been super busy with work, but you told me that you played, but you weren't very good.
Well, no. I mean, I'm a lot better now than I was. I'm a lot better now than I was back in November.
I was going to say, Kane, are you calling shenanigans?
Yeah. Oh, I am. I am 100% calling shenanigans on Nev. I have seen some of the gameplay, sir.
Yeah, sometimes I'm good. Sometimes I'm good. I'm very good. And then there are other times where I'm just, I can't shoot for shit.
I think in those games, everybody has that moment where they're like, Arnold Schwarzenegger gearing up for commando and they just, shoot off a bunch of rounds and 50 guys go dead. But then you have those moments where, the second you spawn, you're dead.
Yeah, no, what is it? I had two complete different ends of the spectrum. Within the last 24 hours, I went in yesterday morning, and I was wiped out inside the first 2 minutes of being inside the DMZ. I went in with just pretty much nothing, just one weapon, and then later on that evening, I did the exact same thing. Killed a bunch of AI, killed another solo player, picked up a large backpack, triple vest, a bunch of loot, self-reses, and oh god, precision air, the whole shebang, and three very nicely modded weapons, and I did a solo contract, and it's like I got like two completely different ends of the spectrum. Sometimes you're just the shit, and then other times war shit.
Censor.
Yeah, it's, the difference sometimes can be you can be the shit or you can be shit.
Censor.
So
it's the difference between being a nine-tailed fox demon and being a fox licking a window.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So all right, folks.
I enjoy it. Yeah. It's a lot of fun, and I mean, I do play it a lot with people. There's a bunch of retirees there. There's a bunch of Swagger retirees there.
Awesome. Well, all right. We've got to go to our next break. Nev, thank you, brother, so much for coming on and being with us. You always have a place at this table. You helped create this table, so your place is assured. After this break, folks, we're going to go over we're going to start up kind of a segment that I like. It lets the community know what we're working on, what we're farming in Swigo, but not just that, what games we like to play in our free time and what we might be streaming in the future. And it doesn't always have to be Swigo. You know, people like to play other stuff too. Don't have to sit there in front of your phone and, you know, have your eyeballs melt out of your head going, oh my God, GAC. There's other games in life and other things to do than playing this crap game that we love to hate and hate to love. Anyway, all this and more after this break on the Escape Podcast, the old man's private reserve. Right back at you.
Hotbot in Hot Utils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, Hot Utils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, Hot Utils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
Hot Utils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod Cast.
Visit hotutils.com to learn more. That's HOTUTILS.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena tracking bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
Are you like us and play more than one mobile game? Well, we have good news. The Escape Podcast has expanded its lineup.
There's the flagship Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes show every first and third Friday with Paul Anthony and the Nap.
And the Marvel Strike Force show on the second and fourth Fridays with Flair, Kyle, and Nick.
Join our Discord to stay up to date with these and our additional shows produced under the Nerdy Network flag.
Everything happens live on the Escape Pod Cast Twitch channel, or you can catch up on what you missed on our YouTube channel or your favorite podcast app.
Thanks for listening to the Escape Pod Cast. Be nice to each other, damn it.
You're listening to the Escape Pod Cast.
And we are back, folks. We are back and better than ever. You know, I love Nev. I could probably, like, listening to Nev is almost the equivalent of like listening to Bob Ross. Like you're just relaxed and entertained. It's the accent, and I mean, dude, has anybody ever had a bigger craving for fish and chips than right now? Like, holy censor. That's my new thing. That's what I'm doing from now on. Whenever I was gonna like have a profanity laced tirade, I just go censor, and it reminds me my old I almost did it again. It's the old man's private reserve. It's what we do. But anyway, we're back. So in this next segment, I want to have some fun. And the last segment, end the show on a high note. We do this in the old man's cantina. I'd like to bring it here. It's called New Brews. A new drink, a new concoction, and something else you're farming. What are you working on in Swigo? What are you grinding? What are you doing? So we're going to go around the room. And as our guest, Nick, again, thank you, brother, for coming in for Bob. Dude, that last segment with Nev, man, you know your stuff. So you're on point, brother. I was kind of just sitting back, wishing I had like a bowl of popcorn and just be like, all right, I'm just gonna listen to these two. I'm good.
It is great. It is greatly appreciated.
Yeah, and
I had no idea. I had no
yeah,
idea
you,
that you knew about this.
yeah,
I went to school for this. I love messing with that stuff. I've alpha and beta for 20 plus years. I had no idea, Nick. Like you
yeah,
completely
you
blew
brought
my mind.
a very awesome element of debate and knowledge and insight to this conversation, and I want to thank you. That was an
I'm gonna
outstanding
blush,
segment.
boys. Jeez.
That was great.
You gotta shave the beard before you blush.
The beard might come off soon, but we'll see.
Oh no.
No, you did, man. That was some insightful stuff. I almost did it again, man. No, that was really insightful. That was outstanding. I didn't have to say it. Like, that was the easiest segment on the show I've ever done. I didn't have to say a word, really. I just kind of sat back and went, I'm just gonna let them do their thing. Awesome.
Big deal said to put your hair in a mohawk.
I'm getting a lesson in Greek because I don't have the foggiest flucking idea what I said flucking idea what they're talking about. Not one, but hey, it sounds cool.
So what are you farming, Nick? I know you play Swigo, so what are you farming on your main?
Let's talk about your main account, like your main baby account that you really put the most effort in.
Yeah.
Where is your focus at? What are you grinding right now?
I'm kind of doing a rest and recover kind of situation at the moment. Racing towards profundity had that, that burn sensation that you just really don't want to keep going on. At the moment, I'm farming like 6 or 7 different tunes. Death Trooper's on that list. Boosh is on that list. Basically, I'm quietly farming Jabba shards for their characters and working on the gear side while finishing up some old Cantina items that it just, you're just like, okay, Death Trooper's 50 something shards out of 100. I might as well just get it done already. Or Ebon Hawk. I don't even have the damn thing. I just don't.
Are you?
Like, you know what? Fine, 7-star it before we care about C.
Are you actively farming the TIE Defender?
Yes, I have it 5 stars on my main.
Okay.
So
I had to ask.
I basically just saved a day's worth of currency, and I've had crazy good drops. I don't understand why the drop ratio is just so positive.
I'm loving.
Yeah.
They're outrageous. They're outrageous.
The Defender drop rate.
Yeah.
Like for Outrider, I barely unlocked it on my main with the last hunt we had, and then neither of my alts got it. Like they were 5 shards, 10 shards off, but like this one, they've got it at 4 stars. I've got it at 5. I may end up having it at 6.
I'm halfway. I'm halfway to 6. I'm not actively farming it. I'm farming gear, but I'm halfway.
I'm literally just doing the 50s. That's all I'm doing. 350 refresh on regular energy, 350 refresh on fleet. Burn it all. Any excess stuff I'm putting on the Tarkin right now for gear. We'll move on to Royal Guard after that and just kind of taking it easy here for the next couple of weeks. Just kind of relax, try not to go crazy, wait for conquest items to come in, build the Crystal Horde back up, try and, not pull my hair out in Rise of the Empire. Because like this last run, I don't know if they made a change, but my Jedi Knight Luke lead in the P1 special mission didn't work. It just didn't. I got to the Lord Vader node and it just nothing. I couldn't keep him stunned. I couldn't do a thing. And I usually kind of just clear it. It just usually isn't a problem. I don't know if there was just some kind of change that I missed or something, but it got way harder for no reason.
Oh no, it did. It did. I felt it was a lot tougher this time around.
Yeah, I don't know why. I didn't see any like actual code change
No,
that
it
I saw
didn't.
noted.
They didn't mention any change. Nothing. It just like me. I usually go through. I usually go through pretty easy on that first stage,
Yeah.
and I actually struggled. It was weird this time around.
Yeah, especially because like I really don't like using Jedi Master Luke's lead in territory battles because I feel like it's too inconsistent and a daze will just throw the whole team off.
Oh, days on that team is it cripples
Oh,
you. It
trust me,
absolutely
I
cripples
that in light side territory battles that I could be I could beat Kalani, I could beat whatever you wanted, but if that damn commando
you.
or the droid commander's there, it's just like, well,
Yeah.
welcome to pain. The only time I've actually used JML's actual ult under JKL lead was because I got stuck behind one of them and it turned into a slap fight. 15-minute P4 phase, you're just like, I just want to win. Can I win, please? Okay, now I won. Thank you. 80 bajillion droid stacks later and Kalani just laughing at you.
I feel like, and I feel like, especially for Kane, the best legend he could have gotten to really progress in Conquest was Jedi Master Luke, because Jedi Master Luke in Conquest just destroys all.
I need to
if you have it in high relics and you have the ultimate, that legend will work. And he will do some work.
Speaking of which,
I just used the JKL.
I unlocked JML's ultimate just before Conquest started.
Well, that's what then. Now we're on you. What are you grinding? What are you doing? So we already got that one. So what else you got cooking?
Right now I'm trying to finish up my executor. I got Boba Fett to Relic 6. I have the TIE Fighter pilot, IG-88, and I call him Dingy. But it's Dinger.
Dengar. Yeah.
I have them left to get to Relic 5. I'm one piece of gear from TIE Fighter pilot being gear 13, ready for relics, and IG-88 and Dingy are needing all the gear to go to gear 13. But I'm slow rolling those while I'm getting my TIE Fighter pilot and Boba Fett up to Relic 8. I need 2 more relic levels and I'm almost to 7.
All right. I'm gonna be a minute. Kane, we talked about this. Yeah. I don't know. I got a wild hair up my sensor. I started hoarding crystals after the last conquest for the scythe before the next conquest started. I went for about a solid month of I was getting my dailies, getting everything done, meeting my requirements, but I was not refreshing anything. I was hoarding all crystals, and I got to a point where I was sitting on 32K. And I decided to drop it. So my results are as follows. I put Bougie Leia to Relic 8.
Yeah.
I put Black Croissant to Relic 8.
Black Croissant.
I put after the TIE Defender was announced and she was the pilot, I put Iden Versio to Relic 7. I put Imperial Probe Droid to Relic 7 because of the Datacron for Lord Vader. I was slow farming Afra, and I finished Sanastaros, 000, and BT1 and Relics, and I unlocked Afra. Now, the problem is, after all that spending, and maybe I shouldn't have spent some of the stuff on side projects, but I did anyway. I mean, we're already locked into this GAC. So, I mean, my Afra, I hit a roadblock with Afra. I'm at gear 11 going into 12. I have some of the material to get her into relics. Maybe 7 may be a little while, but that's the great thing about the new Datacrons is that they last for 4 months. So, and I have an Afra Datacron. So I'm eventually going to get to use her in GAC, but I have Afra unlocked. So I'm drained. I'm sitting on, my goodness. Yeah, 750 crystals.
Wow.
That's it. I out of
That's
32K.
That's a crystal dump.
Oh yeah, I dumped it all. But it got me Afra. It got me Chrysanthemum at 8, Bougie Lay at 8, Iden 7, Imperial Probe Droid at 7. I made some serious moves on my roster. So now it's like I feel like, I'm kind of at that fortunate position where I've got Afra unlocked. I just got to get her into relics. But now, until the next big thing is announced, everything else at this point is a bonus.
True.
Like if they don't announce something in the next month, which is where I'm kind of at a crossroads. Do I work on some projects that I think are good for my roster, or do I go back into horde mode? Now, I'm thinking I want to get BT1 to Relic 7 at least. At least. Being an attacker droid, and I mean, in Conquest, I know you can't really use Conquest as, like a baseline of what things are going to do in GAC, but
slow
my
roll.
goodness, those murder droids are fun to use.
Slow
Holy smokes.
roll your separatist to prep for trench. I mean, you've got everything else. Why not slow roll for trench? Just
Dude,
so
I'm
that
just
way
not
you have it.
sold on Trench. He's a TW tune. I'm just not sold on him. Yeah, Nick, how are you feeling about Trench? What were your thoughts on him?
I agree with the fact that it's just he
It's
doesn't.
meh.
Yeah,
He's meh.
he seems extraordinarily underwhelming for what you would think we were gonna get from him.
Yeah.
Like he seems like the least conquest tune I've ever seen. Like I feel like Watt provides more utility than Trench. Plus, he's pulling apart certain teams.
He really
that
is.
like you really don't want to do. Like Mandalorians is objectively one of the strongest in this game, and for them to pull that team apart is just really, it strikes me as odd.
Especially this GAC, that Canderous Datacron is deadly.
Yeah, I
absolutely deadly.
I mean, I'm not going to unlock Trench anytime soon. I'm usually a box 2 guy.
Okay.
Just because I just, you miss a day, you miss a day or two, and I literally just throw it on auto most of the time. I've got 4 teams I run through, and if one of them fails, I'm just like, all right, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah,
it gets
this
me
is
some
like
shards.
Yeah, this is like the first conquest. Like it seemed like every conquest unit I was totally on board for, ready to go the extra mile, trying to do all the tricks to get all the feats done. This one, I'm just like I don't even think I'm gonna red crate this first go around.
Oh wow.
Well, it's because I just don't care. I'm not. And here's the thing. What? What are you laughing at, you goon?
No,
What, I
no
sound like
nothing.
Nev?
No, nothing at
I just
all.
don't care?
Nothing at all, old man Nev. No, you know
Did somebody
how
put something funny in chat that I'm missing?
there's a few things that are funny in chat, which is why I really love this portion of the show, because we do get to go to chat. we get to go to chat and we get to find out what they're farming, what they're grinding as well. So, like Jack, if the rumors are true, the platoons for the Riva mission are very important now. So Jack's gonna farm up some of those trash characters to Relic 7. I can't blame him for that. I mean, to my knowledge, he's got a lot of really good squads right now, and farming those up is not going to hurt him while he just kind of sits back and hoards. It's not really going to hurt him.
Yeah, I'm seeing it, man. Back to 32. Yeah, I had 32K. I dropped it. I know. I was an idiot. I probably shouldn't have spent it all. I know.
But you got Big Deal. You got Big Deal. He's farming those 4 Ewoks. He knows of Low Gray, Scout, and Elder, but he can't for the life of him remember the 4th one, which I like to. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think that's the Pompeii guy. That's what I call him. Popaloo. I call him Pompeii every time I see him because that little Ewok is the bane of my existence when I fight Ewoks. It's something about the way he looks at my tunes.
Yeah, well, thanks to Continental Shift, we know what the hell happened to Pompeii.
But at the same time, a big shout out and congrats to Big Deal. He will be unlocking his Afra in 2 hours.
What was his name again?
Big Deal.
Big Deal. Dude, I'm going to tell you right now. I started the Afra missions. Change your mods. Put your best mods on whatever tune you're using for whatever mission, because if you don't, you are going to get Ed Norton curb stomped. I'm telling you right now.
That's why I'm not looking forward to Grand Inquisitor. Is watching, Ranger rage for 3 or 4 hours, tinkering with his mod sets. It's just like, do I really want to do that?
But Nick, it's so worth it, dude. The Inquisitor, and it's I got to give all the credit to Pico Burrito from Holotable News Network. He had said for so long, months ago, that he saw so much utility in the Inquisitors. And at first, listening to their show, I was like, Inquisitors. And then now that I got them, they are so much fun to use, and they are better. I mean, the rollout by CG they did was terrible. The rollout was absolutely horrendous, but they are a good team. Like before, I think Kane and I talked about things we were working on. I put my Grand Inquisitor to Relic 8, and I put my Ninth Sister to Relic 9. Ninth Sister, and made her as tanky as humanly possible. And that team is just, it is so much fun to use.
And so Big Deal did say it's not Pompeii. It's worse. It's Tebow. He's farming Tebow.
Oh, Tebow, the savior of the original Rancor raid.
Oh, the old Chex Mix.
Yeah, don't you? Yeah.
I didn't live in the Chex Mix era, but I heard about it.
Oh no, there was a meme of Arlie Ermy from Full Metal Jacket with that mean look on his face, and that's the look you get when the Rancor eats Tebow first. Yeah. I was playing this game when that was a thing, and you'd be well on your way, ready to solo this thing, and that censor darn Rancor would eat Tebow first, and you just wanted to take your phone and chuck it over a calm pond and see how many times it would skip because you're so aggravated. Oh God, it was aggravating as hell.
Or the 10th time you get to phase 4 in the Thrawn event and he immediately fractures Ezra.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yes.
And you're just like, well, I guess I'm going to lose another hour here.
See, I know that one because I was working on Thrawn before I inherited the account that I play now.
My first year 12 was Ezra. Let me see if I've got the photo.
Hera.
I actually, you know what? I think Ezra Bridger gets a bad rap. I have him at Relic 5 with some decent mods, and for a plug-in Jedi, like I don't think he's that bad. He's got a dispel. He does an assist. Like I don't think he's a bad tune if he's relicked right or not relic modded right. I don't think Ezra Bridger is a bad tune. I really don't.
When I had Nev on the Cantina, we actually touched on Ezra. It was he said that was the go-to for the JML team rather than
he won't show
rather than go with Jedi Knight Revan. Go with Ezra. And I would love to. Oh, you're playing it right now.
No, this was OG. Look at the design.
Oh, okay.
That was back in June of 19 when I did that.
Oh God, that is old school.
I keep that photo to remind myself every single time I'm frustrated in an event. I'm like, it wasn't as hard as that crap was.
The most frustrated I have ever been in this game in my life, and my son was still in high school, was trying to unlock 3PO.
Oh, God.
And he saw me on the couch, like veins in the neck, red in the face, furious, just outrageously angry. That was the mission that almost broke me. That I think I sat on my couch for well over an hour trying to do that mission, remodding everything I could possibly try. It was just it almost broke me.
It took me 4 hours to unlock CLS on my main.
Oh wow!
Because I didn't want to gear any further.
Nope. Gas.
Ooh.
And you know what?
Gas.
I don't know.
And big deal. Just put it in the chat as well. What about gas? Gas.
Yeah. What about
here's
gas?
the weird thing.
Yeah.
Like I did high relics on my alt run of gas. I damn near autoed it. Like I didn't even have to change mods.
I know, and that's
just like.
And I was going to mention
when did this get
that.
easy?
It's like, back in the day when these events came out, it was trial and error.
I was a pre-negotiator gas.
There was Arnold and Mobile Gamer, back in the gas and, those old days, we're still doing it. But we didn't have the variety of content creators that could, kind of help us figure this stuff out. So a lot of the times back in the day, we just had to sit and play. We had to play, figure it out, and it drove us nuts. So it's like some of the players that are coming into the game now and doing these missions, it's like, man, and Kane, sorry, I'm gonna kind of put you in that category. Dude, you guys got it made.
Yeah.
You like this stuff is like, let me tie a big red bow. Here it is.
Grief
Here's
and
a gift.
Mando in the Chewie mission.
You guys say that. You guys say that we've got
no,
it made because
Kane, you don't understand the struggle.
Hear me out. You guys say that, but you also have to factor in that when we're watching these how-tos, there's one key element that all of us that are watching these how-tos are still going to struggle with, and that is having the right mod, getting those tunes to the right speed, so that we can still low gear whatever it is. Like my gas, I spent a week on gas. I spent a week on gas just trying to get the mods right. And when I finally gave up and said, you know what, I'm leaving the mods the way they are. I'm just gonna gear these tunes. And I geared most of them into relics just to get my gas. And now I love my droid relic team.
Well, Big Deal just said in chat, and he's 100% right. Some of these missions and some of these events, like the original Rancor raid, we didn't have mods. Mods? What were mods? You went in with whatever gear level you had, and you prayed to whatever higher power you subscribed to, and then you hope you get it done. That was it. I mean, again, and it was Darth Vader, Tebow, and Tebow had an ability where he could remove 100% turn meter from the Rancor, and all you wanted to do was keep building dots, then do the saber throw where you got like 1,000,000 damage, and that's what got you through the original Rancor raid. I remember doing that, and it was a chore. Now
Imagine Merciless Massacre on that raid.
That was
now you just sim it, and it's over.
That was back in the day, before you were old man Logan.
Back you when were young man Logan.
You were just Logan.
No, I was still old man Logan. I've always been old and tired and beat up, and I just don't give a shit. No censor. Well, Nev said ass. If he could say ass, I can say that word once. All right, so
Logan used to walk uphill to school both ways.
Both ways, and I was thankful.
Back in his day, they didn't have no newfangled relics.
In the snow.
We had Gear 12, and we were happy.
We didn't have GPS. Gosh darn it, we had courier pigeon. All right, folks, we have reached our threshold for this outstanding episode of the Old Man the Old Man's Cantina. Wow, what show am I on? This is what happens when you run two shows. The Escape Pod Cast, the Old Man's Private Reserve. Final thoughts. Let's go around the room. Let's start with our guest, Nick. Again, man, anytime you want to come on, dude, you let us know. You can come on. I mean, I honestly think the more people on a show, the merrier, because then it kind of sets up a panel and everybody gets a perspective and an opinion, and it sets up really good debate on what's going on in this game that we very much love and are passionate about. So you ever want to come on again, man, you let us know. Like, Paul and Nev gave us the keys. So if we want to have more people on, then gosh darn nabbit, brat, censor, we're going to do it. So final thoughts, Nick, start with you. What do you got for us? And what do you stream anything else? Do you play anything else? And where can people find you?
I do have a Twitch channel. It is dormant at the moment. I'm in the middle of a rehaul, still working on it. Still got to buy a new microphone and get my channel set up updated, but it is there under twitch.tv/Sephironis. But like I said, it's still work in progress, so I'm not streaming currently. But yeah, I play a little bit too much. I play too many games to count, but yeah. Marvel streaming, you guys will see me next week on the Marvel Strike Force edition.
Yes.
And then I will actually be on vacation for 2 weeks. So I will miss out on the 4th Friday show for MSF. My understanding is we're going to have a Redneck Viking show up to fill in for me. So, and then actually, we guys will probably all get together here at the end of March because that'll be our 5th Friday.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we'll get a mega panel show going.
That would be awesome.
That's going to be
that
fun
would be
one.
awesome. No, that'll be.
And we have to try and talk Paul and Nev into being on that one with all of us. Get the whole panel.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that would be good. Kane, what about you, man? Well, I know you work a lot, but that new Star Wars game is coming out, and you've been talking about going on Twitch and streaming like a Let's Play series. So what's going on with that?
So beginning in March, as soon as Jedi Survivor drops, I will be on my downtime that I have. I'll be streaming the game. I'll be playing it on the hardest difficulty. So come watch me get destroyed, and let's have a good time. As always, don't forget to subscribe.
Hold on. I gotta say what I'm playing.
Oh no, I'm not cutting you off.
Okay. I thought you were going into our ending. was like, wait a minute.
Always.
I get a minute.
I was just saying, make sure that they hit that little bell, man, so they know every time that we go live. Don't forget to subscribe to us.
I don't give a damn.
And
I'm that old man.
We do stream on the Old Man's Cantina whenever we play games. Mostly it's Old Man, but when these new games drop, I am going to be streaming as well.
Yes.
Old Man, that's on you, bud.
All right. Please tune in to the Old Man's Cantina next Friday. We are going to have Ranger on the 10th. Ooh. And that is going to be a solid episode. We've had him on the Old Man's Cantina before. We can't wait to get him back on again. We're going to talk everything Squiggo, everything that's going on, from the direction of Datacrons to the nerfs to everything and every hot take and all the news as it happens throughout the course of the week. I do stream from time to time. I'm mostly an Elden Ring player. Bob, who wasn't able to make it tonight, but he'd been begging me to make a sorcery build on Elden Ring, and I did. The character is now maxed out at the cap at a level 150. I will be doing a live stream. I don't know when, pretty soon at some point, of a showcase of that build, how it works, how I got him, what items and best talismans to use. The Immortal One and I are also trying to set up a Tekken fight night so I can whoop that ass like I always do. So yeah, no, we won't even go over how many controllers you've broken trying to beat me. Yes, mention you're perfect on me, and happens once. A dead clock is right twice a day. So we will be setting up a Tekken fight night pretty soon. We'll try to get my son in there, who is also a good Tekken player with one character, I might add. He only knows one. But so that's what we going on. Well, that's what we got going on. For all of you that are sticking with us, again, we know change is different. Paul and Nev were just a different kind of breed. They did a great show. They had great chemistry. They had great guests. We have big shoes to fill, but we hope that we're doing it. We appreciate all of you that are out there right now, that are listening to us, sticking with us. Please stay tuned. There are more great times, great conversations, and great debates in store. Again, we want to thank Nick. Man, thank you for taking time out of your Friday to come hang with us. We really appreciate it. Dude, you know your stuff, man. Having you on was a treat. You like literally all I had to do was sit back and just listen to you and Nev go back and forth, and I was just like, wow, I don't have to say shit. I'm just censor. I just have to sit back and just, all right, you guys do your thing. So if you want to chat with us in the after show, Kane, where does the after show go? Where do I go?
The after show is located on the Discord link.
That's
right below where you guys are watching us now.
See, also, this is why I walk to school both ways, uphill in 5 feet of snow, because I don't know where the after show is.
Also,
make sure to act. Yeah. Also, it's available to our Patreons and to subscribers to the Twitch channel.
All right.
As long as you link your Discord to your Twitch, it'll automatically give you the privileges in the Discord server.
Yes, sir.
So I will be there for a bit. Anybody wants to come in and chat with the old man or anyone else, hop in there after the show.
I'll show you guys my alts.
Sweet.
Let your hair turn purple.
All right, yeah. All right. So again, thank you to Nick and to my brother from another mother, Kane, the Immortal One. Love you. I feel like we're doing a good job. I hope we are. And from the immortal words of Edward R. Murrow, good night and good luck.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods! Close down circuits! Evacuate the city! Self-destruct
It will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
6! What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Boo Boo, sit. Good dog.